This is the way people are searching now. They're using LLMs and they're not searching for an artifact. They're not searching for a firm or a company. They'll go use Google for that. But when they're in Claude or ChatGPT, what they're doing is they're searching their specific situation and they're asking for help. I just sold my business for $8 million. What should I do to minimize taxes? I'm getting a $2 million inheritance. How do I invest it responsibly? I just signed an NFL contract. How do I make my money last? A bunch of my friends are broke, right? I retired 2 years ago with $6 million. What's the best withdrawal strategy? They're searching these things that are relevant to their situation. And if you go do this yourself, you're going to find there are all kinds of sources. How do you end up in those sources? And then on top of that, when they actually realize that it's taken them as far as possible and they need a human, how do you show up in that conversation? See, this is where strategy needs to come in. It's not about everything we've always done being broken. I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you like SEO is dead. It's not true. A good SEO strategy helps with a good AI search visibility strategy. So they're part and parcel. But what I am telling you is that we have to adapt to this new reality with number two, our content. The content has to be more strategic because now you are not just creating content for humans. You're also creating it for the machines. It's just a fact of the matter. Doesn't have to necessarily be different content. It can be integrated with your existing content, but you have to think of your content as being read by, consumed by, and leveraged by both AI and your clients, by humans and by computers. So your content is how you're going to establish trust, be visible, build credibility, but it's also how you build relationships and how you communicate with people. So it's two sides of the same coin, but they are different and they require nuance. Now, to get that right, you need good data, intelligence. So a good AI strategy starts with a good data strategy. A good marketing strategy starts with a good data strategy. Here's an example of why. So we talked about this life cycle, right? You've got attract, activate, nurture, convert, retain, and refer. We'll go deeper into each of those in a minute, what each of them means. But you probably can tell just by how they're titled, roughly, what they mean. So first of all, attract. Right? Where are your leads coming from? How do you know? Do you know where your best lead sources are? Or are you just doing a lot of things and some of them are working and some of them aren't, but you don't know which is which? And maybe you have this one thing that you have been able to measure success with, and so you just keep doubling down on that thing when it may not be the most efficient way to grow. Like, maybe you're doing events and that's just working, and that's fine, keep doing it. But are there other sources that are also working? How do you know? Is every single lead source measured, captured, and measured, and where it fits into this life cycle? And then when people enter the life cycle, what stage do they go into and how long do they stay in it? And can you tell what accelerates them from stage to stage? So if you've got all these people that are in, let's say, the activate stage, I think about that like maybe years of email marketing and seminar marketing and client events and referrals. And you got this database, but it's just sitting there. They're all in that activate stage. But how are you getting them from there to the conversion? And then what's the ROI on every channel? What type of content works best at each stage? And how are people progressing? See, this is where the intelligence behind that life cycle matters.